I'm Phil.
And we are Suddenly Ducks.
We're doing Only War again. This is our third session. We've missed a few weekends, but oh god, we're raring to go now. And I'm not sure what's happening, but over to you, Warren.
Alright, so if you guys remember, you were in the middle of holding off this firefight that was going on, which reminds me I need to do the sounds. Oh, there we go. We're done with it. Yeah, so you guys in the middle of this firefight against a group of Hegemony guards that were coming up behind your guys that were, if you remember, completely surrounded by a large barrage of artillery in the distance, if you can remember that.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were told to form the rear guard, which is what you've been doing, but it looks like you're going to get overrun. But before now, you found a way to escape this. It seems to be an old mag-lev line that goes beneath the city of Gabesa that will probably be able to get you through the artillery barrage, which is to the north of you and has cut you off from the rest of the Imperial Guard regiments that were attacking the main force of the enemy troops. So in a spout of bravery, you guys have decided to draw as many of the enemy troops to you guys as possible to slow them down, to give you enough time to make a break for the mag-lev line underneath the city, and hopefully use it to get to your basically your entrenched and entrapped troops under Captain Rankar, which are to the north of you. So you guys had just blown up the bridge and collapsed one of the chimeras into the huge gaping chasm in the center of the road there that was destroyed by an orbital strike. A couple of your guys have died so far holding this off, and it's up to you guys really if you want to retreat or not. But even more chimeras have turned up, more coming up the road as well. It's like an entire regiment of mechanized infantry moving on your position, so you're not going to be able to hold forever. And I think it was their turn right now, so the tank is going to move. First of all, he's going to let out the guys behind him. So his assault ramp opens up on the back. And that many dudes come crawling out. And then it moves up 15 meters. And they move up 15 meters with it. There we go. Alright, so Piker, you and Voxbox are currently entrenched in one of the bunkers at the bottom of the Administratum Building, firing at anyone that comes close to you. And yeah. Piker is just sort of like looking at you going, fetting hell, Piker, when the hell are we gonna, when in the God Emperor's name are we gonna get the hell out of here? Why is the sergeant just leaving us here? We've done enough, we should get out of here, the bridge is already blown.
We will not move until he gives the order.
So he just grits his teeth and says, "Ah, oh, bloody hell!" He just starts firing his las rifle outside the window. What do you want to do?
I can't hit anyone from here, so.
You can, but it's a long shot. You could shoot at the tanks, but everyone else is behind the tanks. So.
Yeah. I think I'm like 80 meters away from.
Yeah, but you can shoot up
tank.
to the 3 times the range of your gun. It's just at extreme range.
Alright. I'll shoot a crack grenade at it then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're shooting at the Chimera, yeah?
Yeah.
I think Chimeras are massive, so you get plus 30.
Minus for like... I have 60 meter range on this thing.
And you're firing at the one that's just over the bridge, huh?
Yeah.
Well, the destroyed bridge. Okay, so it's minus 10 for the long range. And then plus 30 for its size.
Aim?
And plus 10 for single shot.
Yeah, plus 10 for single shot. You're aiming, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's another plus 10 for just a half aim.
And +5 if you have Vox shield with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how much is that? That's -10 plus 30. 20.
It's plus like 45.
Alright.
Yeah, plus 45. But damaging tanks with grenades is hard to do, so... Alright, yeah, so you hit it, so roll damage. While I look up the stats. But I remember it has a ton of armor on the front, so...
Maybe
Yeah.
with that kind of roll, you hit its tracks or something.
Well,
You
don't
can crit,
Righteous Furies do
so-
crit damage?
Yeah, you can still crit things. So.
Probably the only way you can hurt it.
So confirm is just like roll again, right?
Yep.
Nice.
On the money.
Fucking. And then it's how many d10s?
It's a
Um,
D5.
D5.
It's
One
a D5 for a crit, yeah. In this, crits are just critical effects, they're not extra damage, like the other
Yeah.
games.
You hit the hull of the tank.
Some of them are pretty good, though.
Okay.
Apparently D1 is all tanks in the 50-meter radius explode.
Uh-huh.
So, you hit it on the front, it has a front armor of 30. And you did 22 damage with pen 6, so no actual damage, but then you got a crit on the hull, is it? Alright.
Yeah, it's very funny actually what happens.
Even
page
if
is
you
the
roll
crit
two
on?
tens, no damage.
The crit is on page 279 of the core.
So you got a critical hit on the hull, you rolled a 1, so the vehicle jolts to one side with the force of a strong hit, forcing everyone aboard to grab onto something to stay in their seats. Any crew who are not strapped in or otherwise secured must make an ordinary +10 toughness test or be stunned for 1 round. Alright, so there's 3 crew inside. Let's see. So there would be a commander, a driver, and a gunner. The driver and the gunner would be strapped in, but the commander wouldn't, so the commander is the only one that makes the test, right?
Yep.
And he fails, so the commander not gun is stunned, so the heavy bolter stops firing as he gets jolted. And that is your turn, Piker.
Yay.
What a shot.
Okay, so Parks radios into... Well, actually, he literally just shouts over the wall to you, Fit, and he just says, Sergeant, we're getting destroyed here. My men are getting chewed up. We need to retreat. How long do you expect us to hold against this?
As long as the Emperor deems fit.
He and his men just keep firing, so they're just going to aim at the tank and do no damage because they have no clear shots right now. This Chimera is going to move forward after it empties its load of dudes.
Probably really loud, fat. Probably thought you said deemed fat. So,
Foot.
So they just move up. Locke, your turn.
I look stunned at the amazing shot from Piker, and
There's a lot of dead or wounded. You could start grabbing bodies and dragging them away.
Nah.
yeah, I like that idea. One of the guys near the back. So let's say these guys upstairs.
Yeah, they're upstairs.
So let's say this person then grab this dude and start pulling him away.
Alright, well, walk over to him. Yeah, and Angel will come with you, I presume.
Yeah. I don't want to send Angel upstairs. Yeah, screw it. A distance, I can go full move 6. Wow, impressive. Well, I go to this side of the thing then. Now, should I just run over there? Yeah.
Yeah, you can run. So
I'm really zoomed out. 1 sec.
how far can you run?
18.
Yeah, you can get right to him.
Okay, over there then.
And do you bring Angel with you, or do you send
Yeah.
her upstairs? All right.
Well, if I send her upstairs, I feel like she's gonna get left behind or something, so I'm gonna bring her with me.
All right. So you make a run for that guy. Delta, what do you and Crater do?
Well, Boom returns to Crater and say, the mortar's out of rounds. I think we'll be retreating soon. I think we better go upstairs and fetch it.
He just nods and says, I'll go grab it if you want and meet you down below.
Well, I mean, I'll come with you. The thing weighs like 50 kilos.
Alright, so he just, nods and starts running.
Yeah.
Like he jumps over the fence and starts running. Gets like there.
Oops. There we go.
Alright. This chimera here also drops its assault ram. And a ton more dudes come out. And they advance 15 meters.
Into the fire, yeah.
Well, the chimera advances over it. And, gutters it out a bit.
Damn it.
Alright, what do you do, Sergeant Fit? Also known as Thermite.
Okay, so I'm going to tell Morris to retreat into the tunnels, make sure the way is clear.
Milo, you mean? Yeah.
Milo, yes.
Okay.
Milo, whatever.
Alright, so Milo and his guys start to back off while they're shooting. And head into the building.
Ellis is going in after him on the next turn. Then it's Parax, and then we will retreat. We'll be the last ones out.
Okay.
We'll cover everyone. Can I still shoot?
Yep. I'd say like it's half a turn for you to send the command, if you know what I mean.
Okay. Then I'll put a single shot in. Oh, fuck it, on the tank. You never know. So its size is plus 30?
Yeah, it's massive.
40 for range and 5 for my comrade. I hit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Would
it's
have
no
been
damage.
good.
Yeah.
But no.
Alright, so Sergeant Milo, seeing the rest of his men retreat, also jumps over and starts running as well. It's just Parax's men are still left on the front line now. Alright, Ellis and his men will continue laying down a suppressive fire. Fett, what do you want to do?
Oh, well, everybody's leaving, so I figure I should follow. So I'll start running back over the wall.
Alright.
I'll get to there.
So this guard sergeant just gets inside the Chimera again because the squad is dead. The Chimera starts firing its multi-laser, but not its heavy bolter because the heavy bolter is stunned right now. It's going to fire it at Parax's squad again. Let's see if it hits. Does not hit, so the multi-laser just fires wildly, hits and chars with a lot of carbon scoring along the bunker. The fortifications destroy some of the razor wire, blows up a sandbag, but other than that, nothing really happens. The other chimeras continuously edge their way forward with their squads in tow. Biker, what do you want to do? There's another 6 chimeras coming to the road, by the way, that you can see.
I don't have any more crack grenades, and I can't damage them, so...
What's the, like, radius of these frag mines that are buried?
3.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we thought they were going to try and get into like this area to go into the like underground bit, but no one seemed to have gone this way yet.
Would those mines collapse it, do you think?
Mines collapse what?
Like, the way into the underground?
We already collapsed.
We already collapsed.
Oh, we did that, yeah, right.
That's why you put the mines there, in case anyone went looking for that entrance. But these guys either don't seem to know about it, or that's not their plan, so...
Well, shit.
Call it an airstrike.
Or perhaps they know another way.
Can I shoot the guys behind that one chimera?
Yeah, you can make a shot at any of the guys behind the chimeras, but it's a -20 to try and hit them with the chimera blocking away.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. With my last gun.
So, are you aiming single shot, or...?
Yeah.
Okay, so if Voxbox assists you, it's +25 overall, then -20, so just +5. Unless you're out of range, I don't know, are you out of range?
100 meters.
It's exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So... would that be...
It's just +5, I think, overall.
Yeah, I rolled.
Oh, nice.
5.2. Okay.
Okay, so you hit, you didn't roll doubles, so just one of the Hegemony guards just dies instantly.
Right.
Because they're like a horde, kind of, but like, in this they call them formations, if you know what I mean. So you managed to get a crack shot off on one of them, and, you know, Voxbox just like elbows you in the side and says, "Damn nice shot, if you weren't so lazy you might actually be useful." Parks just sort of looks at you, well, just sort of radios to you, and says, "I'm getting my men out of here, Sergeant. To hell with you. God Emperor take you." And he just orders his men to start retreating, and they start running.
Stop that man!
Hooray, we get to shoot our own troops now.
Do you want to shoot your own troops as they retreat? He should actually be on there. So he and his, like, 4 or so remaining guys are making a beeline to run back in. Do you want to kill them or not? Your choice. You did say stop them. Do you mean, like, aggressively stop them?
Ariel?
Sorry, I had people in the room. I really want to shoot him. I want to shoot him so bad for being a coward.
Your choice.
I'll deal with him in the tunnels.
Alright, so he and his men push past Sergeant Ellis and his men and run into the Administratum Building, heading for the underground as well. Alright. This chimera here inches its way forward. With its guys in tow. And this one will fire its multi-laser as well, but it takes a negative penalty because it's too far away, but we'll see. No, it misses, just blows up a few more sandbags, scorches a few more... well, a few more pieces of the concrete, that kind of thing. Alright, Locke, so the guy in front of you is not actually dead, he's bleeding out pretty heavily though. And his comrades in Sergeant Milo's squad must have presumed he was dead, but he's like gulping for breath, where he got, a shot through the liver or something like that. And it looks like he's basically, the fact that it was a las rifle rather than a bullet is what saved him, because it basically like cauterized the wound as it went through him. But he's in a massive amount of pain, if you know what I mean.
Okay, well, let's fix him up then. I'm gonna see if Angel wants to assist me and medicate the shit out of him.
Yeah, go for it.
Do I get a +10 from medicate?
I don't think you do, unless you have like a skill.
I don't.
Yeah, so she
I'm
just
going to use my
assists you.
medkit then. So I get a +20 on that. Nice.
Yeah, so you managed to stabilize this guy's wounds, but he's pretty much almost out for the count and immobilized, but it'll take like one of you to move him.
Angel, grab hold of him.
Alright, so Angel grabs him and starts dragging him. Is that what you wanted to do?
Yeah. She literally did nothing. She's probably got a bit of a turn to do.
Yeah, so she drags him into the Administratum Building. Alright, Boomer, you and Crater go and retrieve the mortar, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll continue.
Okay, so as you guys are running up the stairs to grab it, and like you're folding it at stocks and everything else, and he's like hefting it over his shoulder, he just looks at you and says, Olga Earl did pretty good. Could have done better though. Spread wasn't as good as we'd hoped.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more practice in.
So he just like grabs it and then starts like legging it down into the tunnel. Were you following, I presume, yeah?
Yeah, I mean it's heavy, so I think we're probably both carrying it between us.
Okay, so you two are basically out of the fight then, because you're dragging it away. This one here also starts advancing 15 meters, and I took a guy with me by accident. Should be over there. Okay, and it also starts firing its multi-laser at, this time it's going to fire it at Piker. Okay, so a full spray of multi-laser fire, like, blasts into around here, but most of the concrete seems to absorb it, and, like, one stray shot goes through the back and almost, like, takes Voxbox's head off, and he just sort of looks at you and says, this is getting fetting close. Why are we always last ones out of these shitstorms?
Pick up your gear, we're getting out of here.
He just nods and says, bloody hell we are, and he just grabs it and says, come on, and he starts dashing into the building.
I'm fat.
Yeah, you guys see Fett, like, grabbing easy and, like, jumping over the fence outside. Alright, Sergeant Thermite, your turn.
I'll run into this bunker.
Alright.
And that's all my movement.
Alright, Sergeant Milo and his squad are now underground. Alice just sort of voxes to you, Thermite, and says, Fit, this is too much. My men are being overwhelmed. I'm ordering the retreat. See you below.
Well, he was next to go, so yeah.
Alright, so he and his men start retreating.
I'm about to die, am I?
Okay. Fett, your turn. You just have to get into the building to be safe.
Are there doors here?
Yeah, there's, like, cracks in the wall you could literally jump through. So.
Alright, we run into there.
Okay. So the Chimera in front continues to fire its multi-laser and its heavy bolter, and its only target is either Locke, the sergeant, or the corporal, or Piker. So I'll roll a 2d4. Okay, so the multi-laser goes for Piker, and the heavy bolter goes for Sentinel and the sergeant. Okay, so the multi-laser gets a pretty good hit on you, Piker. You might want to dodge.
Yeah, okay.
And the heavy bolter also actually hits you guys, Thermite, but it doesn't hit Sentinel that goes for you.
I'll try and dodge. What's the AP on the bunker, by the way?
It's like 8. Yeah, 8. Okay, so you dodged everything but one, Piker?
Shit.
And you dodged everything, Fit. Okay. So the multi-laser hits you, and the multi-laser does 2d10 plus 10, 10, 2, and it hit you in the body. So what's your arm on the body?
5.
Okay, well add 8 to that because of the bunker. So 13, so 12, so you'll reduce whatever this is by 12 plus your toughness, okay?
Right.
So what's your toughness?
It is 4. The bonus, right?
Yeah. So you take 6 damage.
Yep.
As a pretty hefty multi-laser shot goes through your chest, basically.
Wow.
And seeing you get hit, Voxbox just turns and like screams, "Form!" and he comes running back for you. He just like grabs you and starts like, you know, limping away with you over his shoulder, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Must be love.
Okay, this one starts firing its multi-laser as well. Some of these guards now do indeed start to fan out. And get ready to start firing at you guys. Okay, the multi-laser is going to be firing at either, well, 3 targets now because I can't see Piker anymore. Okay, so everything at Sentinel and Sergeant. Okay, so your bunker starts like blowing up with heavy bolter and multi-laser fire, but none of it finds your mark. But like the window in front of you is like getting slowly chipped away by micro explosions. Ariel, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's their turn. Piker, it's your turn. You're like wounded, but you can still walk. But Voxbox is like helping you limp into the Administratum Building.
Yeah, we just limp in.
Yeah, I'm screaming at Locke to get out of the open because he's pretty much
A
over
sitting
there.
duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys get into the Administratum Building. This chimera here also starts opening fire at one of you guys. And, okay, the multi-laser goes for you guys again. And actually hits, so can you dodge again now?
No.
So 24 damage, and it hits you in the chest. Remember, you have 8 from the bunker as well. And the heavy bolter goes for Locke. And misses you. So Locke, like, micro explosions from, like, bolter shells start blowing up everything around you. The fence, like, creaks and explodes, if you know what I mean. And all you can hear is, like, the heavy machine gun fire.
I take 7 damage.
Alright, so Locke, there's like explosions everywhere around you, you're dancing to avoid them.
Yeah, I'm literally like serpentining my way into the building now. I'm
While
like,
screaming, "Serpentine!"
Yeah. There you go.
No, sorry, you should have been screaming, "Morphine! Has anyone got any morphine?"
I'm just really thirsty.
Alright, this Hegemony Chimera also fires. At the only 2 available targets, misses the multi-laser. And misses with the heavy bolter as well. So the bunker in front of you is like collapsing through, you know, consistent explosive fire. Your turn?
Yeah. This is a shitty bunker, by the way. Only 8 AP, but
Yeah, well, it was damaged, so.
yeah, we run inside.
Alright. So everybody's inside, so yeah, I'm guessing you run into the underground as soon as you can, yeah?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
To the train.
So the sound of the ambient firefight and the advancing hegemony troops dies away. And you can only hear the distant combat, but that soon also fades away and is left with the sound of the underground around you.
Just for fun, can we detonate all the grenades and maybe that will catch people?
Sure, if you wanna. It's not what you do.
Sure.
You
You know, just wait like a minute and blow them all up.
Is that explosive enough for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. So you guys regroup over here, running through the mag-lev line, whatever you can. The wounded are being loaded onto the train system, and you guys are regrouping. As you guys ran through it, you got a vox from Sergeant Ellis saying he'll form the rear guard and make sure nobody is following you. That was about 5 minutes ago. His squad still hasn't turned up, and right now, the sergeants are having a bit of a quick staff meeting with you, while the rest of your guys quickly load whatever ammo and wounded you can onto the train, and I presume you want Locke to try and get it started, right?
And as we wait for Alice to get back.
Yeah, as we wait for Alice to get back. But I just need to go to the toilet. I'll be back in a minute, alright?
Mm-hmm.
So gather yourselves or decide what you're going to do.
Plus, we got some more things to discuss. I feel like you all are ignoring a very critical component of this plan.
Bananas?
No, thank you very much. It's dark in there.
It's an emergency situation. We don't have time for this. Either you go or you die.
Well, right, I'm not saying we shouldn't discuss it, but I just feel like you're glossing over the light levels awfully quickly.
Put on the goggles. Put on the goggles and everything will look like daylight.
Roll to see if the goggles do anything.
The photovisors, they give you dark sight.
I don't know. I think the goggles do nothing.
She has a point.
Hey, I found bananas in here, Fett!
Really?
Yeah, not many, but there's some here.
I'll call dibs.
Okay, Boomer
So-
starts searching through the garbage for any kind of bananas.
Find some shit. It's fine, because the shit, it's bananas.
How do you spell that?
Bananas. So, I can't remember. Did we clear the track, or did we go and screw with some monsters for a while?
Ellis and his men cleared the track before the fight.
Okay.
We are good to go.
I'll warm up my tech use then. I believe I have 2 ticks. Probably you all also have 2 ticks, but I'm the most
We all do.
intelligent. So, it's probably going to be me.
But I'll be assisting you, so you get another +10.
I'll make your way over here then.
Well, let's wait. While, for stuff to develop. I'm having a staff meeting.
Roll for
And
your
by
usual
staff
thickness.
meeting, I am about to pull out my chainsword and chop someone's head off.
I'll stay over here fiddling with them, trying to spark the engine spirit to life.
Heal people first.
We'll do that when we're on the train. I mean, I can roll now for imaginary train later, so yeah, I'll do that now. Okay, let's say I'm imaginary train healing Ariel first.
Wait for Warren.
I'm back, sir.
Welcome back.
So, what did you guys decide you were doing while you were waiting for Ellis?
I was going to try sparking up the train, but Harold wants me to heal people first. I thought we could probably heal people later, but if he wants me to do it now, I'll come along. Where is he?
It's up to you guys what you want to do.
I think
But you're
getting
getting-
that is better.
You're getting a bit worried, Thermite, because you haven't heard from Ellis in about 5 minutes, and up until then, you guys were keeping up pretty frequent communications, if you know what I mean.
You gain, like, how much is it? Is it my intelligence bonus, so 4 and 1 per thing of success? So
Yeah.
you gain 8. And where's Piker?
Over here.
Just what I needed.
At this point, all of you have various degrees of bandages around you, because I think you've all got hit by something at least once, whether it be shrapnel or something else.
Or monster bite.
Or monster bites to the face.
Except for Boomer, she's spick and spam.
You get like
So far?
11,
11. Okay.
I think. It's like 7 degrees of success, right?
Good thing you have a decent medic. Yeah.
I'll send 2 guardsmen looking for Ellis.
So Parks is just like ignoring you to this point, and he's like already getting onto the train with the rest of his men. He's just like, "Come on!" You know, he's ignoring you guys, and Milo just sort of looks at you and comes up to you and says, "I volunteer to go with one of the men to look for Sergeant Ellis, Sergeant Fit, if you'll give me the honor."
Yes, Milo. I have things to discuss with Barracks.
Alright, so he just nods and then shouts off and like to one of his men and says, "Hey, he's with me." And like the guy just turns around, salutes, and they go walking off into the darkness with their glow lamps on their shoulders looking for Sergeant Ellis.
Keep in contact!
He just, pipes over the Vox line with his micro bead and contacts you and says, "Roger, sir. We'll keep 1 minute communication up and running." So all the rest of the Termians are like very itchy and keeping their trigger fingers pretty handy. A lot of them are like looking around the shadows, like waiting to shoot anything that comes jumping out of them. Most are too busy loading ammo and food and everything else, including the wounded you've got onto the train. And Sentinel just sort of turns to you, Thermite, and says, "That was a close one, sir."
Yes.
He just sort of, shakes his head and says, "These have been pretty trying times the last few days. This rearguard duty wasn't as easy as I thought it would be." He just sort of, listens for a moment and says, "We must be pretty deep. I don't even hear the sound of the bombardment above, and that's a pretty hell of a thing. There's got to be at least, a dozen or so pretty heavy, super heavy Earthshaker cannons or something to cause that much devastation."
Well, if we cannot hear them, that might be a good sign. Means that we're deep enough that the bombardment won't do any damage to the line.
He just nods and says, "I just hope there isn't any cave-ins or anything along the track. Otherwise, I hope Locke can hit the brakes on that thing fast enough so we don't go crashing into our deaths."
You hear it
As I
chuckling
hope as
coming
well.
from Locke's root area.
Okay, so a few minutes go by with like everybody getting loaded onto the mag-lev line, well into the compartment, and then you hear a Vox transmission come through, and it's a bit broken up and static due to being underground. Vox transmissions don't work too well, and the crackle of static comes through, and you hear Sergeant Milo's voice again, and he just says, "Sir, I think we may have made contact. There's the sounds of las fire ahead. I think Sergeant Ellis is under attack," and then it just breaks, and you don't get any more.
Well, let's go save our friends.
All right, so he just so Sentinel just nods and turns to you and says, "Will I get the whole squad, sir?"
Yes, everyone.
Just checking there's no like extended test for me to like fix this engines there.
There might be a while to get it up and running, so you might have to stay and
Well, yeah. So, Locke will stay with Angel.
All right.
And 2 guys from Milo's squad, Parax, is coming with me.
Parax is coming with you?
Yes, he is.
All right.
He's coming with us.
Okay, so he just begrudgingly comes out and says, "They're already as good as dead. Why are we wasting time? We've got to get the hell out of here. We've got enough
That is an
wounded
order,
already."
Parax.
He just sort of looks at you and grits his teeth and says, "What chance do you think Ellis has? You saw how many there were out there. There's got to be at least 1,000 of those heathens coming this way. We'll be overrun in seconds. Why are we going back for him? We've already lost enough."
I pull out my chainsword.
You can see some of the other guardsmen just sort of nodding, if you know what I mean.
I pull out my chainsword and say, "That is an order, Parax."
So he just looks between you and the chainsword and then sort of looks back at his men and then just sort of nods slowly and then turns back to you and salutes and says, "Whatever you say, Sergeant." And he says that with a bit of contempt and turns to move, and then he grabs this guy here from Milo's squad and like pushes him and says, "Come on then." And the other guy just sort of like shrugs and gets ready to move off with you guys.
Yeah. Parax is taking point.
Okay. So is Piker and Voxbox coming?
I mean, if someone comes and gets us, because we're already like sitting down on the train.
Yeah, Sentinel like
You're
shouted
hearing
into
the shouting.
Yeah, Sentinel shouted into the train basically.
Alright. Here we go again.
And Vox just sort of looks at you and says, "Well, look, this time we'll get shot in the head and we won't have to deal with this hell anymore."
Finally, some rest.
He just sort of looks at you and says, You're already lazy enough. You've got enough rest. I mean, you're wounded already. You're probably going to be resting, for a week when we get back to the orbital again."
At least.
All right. So Parax and the other guardsmen start walking off into the darkness.
Can we just get there? Or do we have to travel our tokens all the way?
You can get there. It's like literally just around the corner for convenience. So you guys come around the corner into the ambient sound of, yet again, another firefight. And you just see the brief streaks of las fire like going over everyone's head. And you find Sergeant Ellis cowering just behind, well, not cowering, like taking cover behind a bit of the debris from the collapsed roof above you. And yeah, he's like, clearly the reason he hasn't moved is because his Medicae is trying to, patch up one of his wounded guardsmen who looks like he took a pretty nasty shot through the throat and probably isn't going to survive. But if you know Ellis, the reason he hasn't retreated yet is because the Medicae has refused to leave the guy yet, and he doesn't leave his men behind unless he knows they're dead. So you're going to either have to convince him to leave or help him, with his guardsmen. But you can't see the enemy, you just know they're firing, the shots of blue las fire crackling off behind you as well as autogun fire. And Ellis just sort of like sees you come in and says, "Damn fit, you're a sight for sore eyes. Sorry I got delayed a bit." And he just like continues to fire off his bolter into the distance.
"Just come! That guy's dead, let's go!"
He just sort of like turns back and says, "My Medicae says he still has a chance." And he just sort of like turns to you and says, "If you could just give us a few more minutes, I'll retreat my men in good order. Just get that damn mag-lev line running."
"It is running!"
He just sort of looks to the Medicae, and the Medicae sort of shakes his head and, puts up his hand, indicating he at least needs another 30 minutes or so to stabilize this guy. And then Ellis just sort of swears under his breath, and you can hear him say, "Fething hell," or, "Golden Throne," or something along the lines of that. And he just turns to his men and just shouts, "Retreat! Retreat!" And they all just sort of look at him like that's not what they were expecting, but they all just start running, if you know what I mean. Then he and the Medicae grab the wounded guy and start hauling him off while they all start retreating in good order.
Yeah, I'll be shooting off into the darkness to provide some cover.
So it takes you guys a few minutes to get back to the train, but you eventually do, and let's see how your extended tests have been going, Phil. So it's a tech use test to get it working, if you want to do that for me.
Okay, do I get any help from Angel, or not? Still nothing?
Well, nothing, because that's not really what companions do. We can presume she's narratively, like, flipping switches and checking brake lines and everything else.
I'm actually really good with electronics, if you need a hand.
Apparently I am.
That just comes in, slaps it and goes, hey, and starts working. Alright, make another one, because each one of these is like a minute where you're like fiddling with the train, if you know what I mean. While the sound of Laz carbine and gunfire is getting closer. That's Medicaid. So you guys like slowly fight your way back. Nearly there, you've got the engine mostly prepped and ready. So you get it just in time as everybody like jumps onto the train and it starts barreling off. You can see the you can literally see the Hegemony guys like charging in, you know, around the corner, firing off as your train starts to, well, pick up speed and head off to the brake line north. Where it's going or where it'll end up, you have no idea. You just know you're going far away from the entire regiment of angry heretics closing in behind you. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so the train is going reasonably fast. You've seen faster. On Thermos, they go quite faster, but this is going at a very middling, maybe 30, kilometers per hour or something. But it's faster than anyone can walk, and it's giving you a respite from, the hell and the trauma you guys have gone through in the last few days. Most of you have broken up into different. Well, there's like the main train carriage where Locke is operating the mag-lev line. And there's the rear carriage where most of the Termian line infantry have set up, as well as where the wounded have basically been stored with Angel and the Medicaid from Ellis's squad looking after them, because Locke is the only one that can drive the train right now. In the meantime, most of your men have spread out into the two carriages, like I said. The Grenadiers sticking to the front while the line infantry tend to keep to themselves at the back. All of the men, however, are fairly nervous looking, and they spend most of their time scanning through the rusted and decaying windows of the carriage lines, scanning the gloom and the darkness for any would-be attackers or Xenos beasts that will jump out of the darkness and attack you at any moment. Though some of the men are clearly so exhausted from the several days of prolonged fighting and everything else that they've basically fallen asleep in the seats where they are. So you guys have been traveling along this line for maybe 2 hours now, and Ellis is just like, sitting beside you covered in blood from his wounded man, which he managed to finally save. And he's been a bit gloomy since, he had to leave two of his men back at the Administratum Building to die, basically, or they were already dead. And he just sort of looks at you and says, Emperor knows where this damn thing is taking us, Fit, and he just sort of looks at you and says, let's hope it leads under that bombardment like you hope it does.
I hope it leads us straight to those mountains.
He just sort of looks and says, Emperor knows we could use getting some revenge on these bastards, and he just sort of looks back at the men and, like, almost subconsciously is taking a head count and says, I don't know if we have enough men to take on an entire regiment holding a fortress, though, even if we do have the element of surprise.
I goddamn will try.
He just sort of looks over the bandages around you and the some around, Sentinel, and just says, I will be honest, it looks like you and yours got the worst of that fight, though.
Just a shot, nothing big. Locke's a good medic. As weird as he is.
He just nods and says, he is a bit weird, isn't he? But then he looks back at Piker, and, like, Piker's covered in bandages and everything else, and says, one of your guys, Piker, I think, Looks like he's got a few more holes than any living man need to have, though, especially around the facial area.
Yes. He'll survive as long as he keeps delivering on those shots. Is all that matters.
So Sergeant Milo has like literally fallen asleep since he's so exhausted, but Parks has been like idly sipping on his rations and things like that, and he's like just about to get up and walk off, and he's like, "Excuse me, sirs, I should tend to my men," and he just starts walking off.
At ease, Parks.
Yeah, so he heads back into the other carriage.
Ooh, no reparations with Parks.
Somebody promised me bananas.
Sentinel just sort of looks at you, Fit, as he watches Parks go and says, "He's turning out to be a bigger problem than I imagined. He was more than borderline insubordination several times during that engagement, sir."
Yes. If push comes to shove, my sword will do the talking.
He just sort of nods slowly and says, "As it should be. To be honest, at this point, he may be more of a detriment than he is a benefit in a command structure." And then, Sentinel just sort of closes his hand around his face for a moment, sort of brushes off some of the dirt, and just says, "Emperor knows how he managed to make a sergeant." So, Boomer, you and Crater are once again sitting alone, since most everyone else seems to give you guys a bit of a wide berth. It's not that they don't like you, it's that they're mostly afraid of you. Especially Crater, since he seems to go off every now and then. The only one besides you who seems to be really friends with Crater is Voxbox, and to an extent Piker, because, Vox drags him along to gambling and things like that. Crater's just absent-mindedly cleaning the mortar, even though you guys don't have any rounds left, and he just sort of is slowly taking stock of his ammunition, and he just sort of turns to you and says, "I've got 2 clips of I've got 2 energy packs left for the main gun, and we're out of the mortar. How are you doing on grenades, Boomer?"
I converted them all into mines, except for the 2 frag grenades I gave to you. You still got those?
So he just nods and glints a pretty crooked smile, then takes them out and throws you a bandolier of the grenades and says, "Here, I looked after them for you."
Oh, cool, thanks.
He just sort of looks back as Park sort of walks down the line again and says, "Doesn't look like the sergeant likes that one much."
Yeah, it's all just, what do you call it, a pissing competition?
And Crater just sort of cackles and laughs a bit and says, "Yeah, the bigwigs are always pissing on each other, even the small bigwigs down here with the rest of us foot sluggers."
Yeah, they all look alike to us.
Yeah, so he just sort of smiles at you and turns back to the mortar and then yawns absentmindedly and says, "Fet, I'm tired." And then he sort of looks back at the mortar and says, "I don't even know why I'm bothering to clean this thing. It's not like we're going to do much with it except throw it at someone when push comes to shove."
Yeah, I know, but if it makes you feel calm cleaning it, it helps some people going through some routine routine motions.
So he just nods at you and says, "I think I'm going to catch some sleep while I still can. Who knows, before we're in the next shitstorm." And he just sort of leans back and says, "You should do the same. You look like crap, Boomer."
Yeah, I need my beauty rest.
And he just sort of laughs and says, "Well, you are the feminine mascot of the squad." And he just sort of laughs again and lays out on the seats and falls asleep.
Yeah, Boomer curls up too.
Alright. So going back to Piker, Voxbox, and this time Easy. Easy is just absent-mindedly cleaning the dirt off his guns and stuff, and seems to be in another world completely. While Voxbox is fussing over your bandages, Piker, and he just sort of looks at you and takes some of the bandages off your face and starts wrapping fresh ones around it and says, "Well, you're not as pretty as you were before, Piker, but the ladies, they love the scars."
We can always hope.
He just sort of laughs and says, "Well, better you than me, anyway. At least you're good for a meat shield when push comes to shove." He just sort of like finishes bandaging you and slaps you on the shoulder and says, "If you don't mind, I think I'm going to go have a conversation with our brave temporary conductor and see if he knows where the hell, bloody hell, the Emperor is taking us."
You do that. I'm gonna sleep.
He just sort of laughs and says, "Yeah, of course you are," and he just sort of walks off, chuckling to himself. And Easy just sort of like turns to you out of nowhere and looks at you dead in the eye, Piker, and just says, "I like Voxbox."
Me too.
I like
Let's see.
turtles.
I like trains.
I like lamp.